Hi everybody, this is John Matus from TrainingCenterManager.com and Less Stress Instructional Services. I'm going to be walking you through the use of our AED Electrode Refurb kit to turn clinical electrodes into actual training electrodes. So what you need to make this happen is a refurb kit for the appropriate brand of training electrode that you want to convert. Today we're converting Philips electrodes, although there are several brands available on our website to buy. And these are roughly about half the cost of buying manufacturer-created electrodes from Philips or other companies. So you need one of these kits. You'll need an expired set of electrodes from a real clinical AED. Again, today we're using Philips electrodes from like an FR2 or an FRX device. You also need some form of crimp tool. This could be a pair of pliers like I have, or perhaps just a crimp tool of some type. So I'm going to show you basically how this works. Once you've acquired your kit, you'll find that there are a number of contents in it. I'll pull those out just so you can see them briefly. The first is a plastic bag. We're going to actually use that to store our electrodes later. There is a set of stickers for the outside of the bag, and these are sort of handsome-looking AED electrode stickers that students will be easily recognizable as the defibrillatory electrodes for adult patients. There is a pair of overlays, and these are custom cut to whatever AED you're using for the conversion. So in this case, I have Philips electrodes here, or the custom cut overlay for a Philips electrode. You will need a connector type tool for the wires. I'll show you what to do with this thing later. And then there is a sticker for the wires in case the wires come away from the packaging, so people know these are only for use in trainers and there are no concerns about use on a real patient. So the first thing, once you've assembled all of your contents, is to take the electrodes out of their packaging. Again, these are completely true-to-life clinical electrodes that you would get for any AED. They've never been used, they just expired in the defibrillator, and we're going to sort of refurbish them, like I said before, for training purposes. So once you have your electrodes out, what you'd like to do is peel the backing away from the overlay that we provide. Okay? You basically do this simply by removing the white paper. It's kind of waxy white paper that keeps stuff from sticking to it. This part can be a little challenging, but with just a little bit of picking at it, usually the paper comes right off. You'll next want to take your clinical electrodes and lay them very, very carefully over your overlay. The sizes, like I said before, are custom cut exactly to the right brand by machine, and that's going to give you like a really, really nice coating over the electrode so that you don't have any of the actual gunk from the AED electrode on your mannequin. For those of you who have tried, they're not particularly pleasant. They leave lots of residue. AED electrodes often have a hydrogel type product that just never comes off your mannequin effectively when you use it for training. So I like to kind of squish them together just to make sure they're seated real well. And then you just very simply peel them off of our backing and put them back on the Philips backing. Alternatively, you could keep them on our backing. Our backing is actually pretty appropriate for reuse. Okay, so the electrodes are done and the overlay is done. What you'll next want to do is to apply the connector to the wire. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm putting my wire inside of the connector device. And if you can get in on this. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crimp tool and I'm going to seat this metal part right into the wire. What it's going to do is it's going to bite into it and flatten out, much like so. You can then put the cap back on, and I just usually like to use the crimp tool to do that also. Okay, so we have our connector on. Last thing is to label your product. So the product is going to live inside of the plastic bag that we provide. So all you need to do is to peel the provided stickers off, apply them carefully to the outside of the bag, one on each side. Much like so. And lastly, just as a point of safety, to make sure that these electrodes never, ever end up in a clinical unit, I like to label the wire. So you'll use this particular sticker and just fold it in on itself, so that not just the packaging, but also the wire is appropriately labeled. So as you see, it says AED trainer use, not for use on patient or clinical device. Once you're done, all you need to do is pack our guys up, slide it right in the bag. We do recommend that you put them into an AED trainer to test them before you actually use them in class. But as a general rule, you'll find that these are pretty effective and roughly half the cost of a manufacturer's electrodes. So not only are you saving some money, but you're doing something decent for the environment. They don't end up in a landfill. They get a second life for training, and the students have a realistic tool to use that's clearly labeled and again kind of handsome looking for use in training. You can get these at trainingcentermanager.com along with our AED training app that allows you to use your cell phone or other mobile device as an AED trainer. Thank you for your time, and if you have questions, please contact us at trainingcentermanager.com. Thanks.